G'day, Ben here, and welcome back to my feature on Nick Cave and everything related. As I said in the previous one, been seeing Nick Cave since the early 90s, have probably not missed a show, own all of his studio albums and a few other bits and pieces caught on the way. Amazing artist and continues to this day to surprise and always doing something interesting. A true artist, as wanky as that sounds, but there's no other way to describe him. Great lyricist, great musician, bad actor, some pretty good books. Nicholas Edward Cave, what can you say about him? So we covered the birthday party before this on a previous video, which I'll leave a link down there somewhere. Thought I'd wear the suit because the Cavester always makes an effort, but he probably scrubs up a bit better than this rough head, but I'll have a crack. So by this point, birthday party moved to Berlin, broke up for all of the normal rock and roll reasons, spending too much time together, no money, and heaps of drugs. Nick Cave, believe it or not, probably seemed like the least likely too, because Roland S. Howard, he went on and joined Simon Bonney in Crime and the City Solution. Fantastic band. A few of their later records have been reissued, but the early ones with Roland are amazing. And Tracy Pugh, he actually moved back to Australia to study. Sadly passed away too young. I want to say he had a hemorrhage, but I'm not 100% sure about that. But it was unbelievably something not related to his huge amount of drug use, apparently. And Mick Harvey, whatever it was, he saw something in Nick Cave and he stuck by him. And but they were still feeling their way. Apparently Nick Cave went to New York briefly and did a few sort of one-man shows with people like Lydia Lunch and that kind of New York scene back then of that, sort of what we call it, no wave kind of thing. Moved back to Berlin, saw, now get ready for me to murder this, Einstein Neubauten, and of course the great Blixer Bargeld fronted that outfit, and Nick Cave was blown away and a bromance ensued. If you've noticed throughout Nick Cave's career, he always has someone who is his, right-hand person. Currently it's Warren Ellis, been Mick Harvey in the background pretty much since the start. Roland S. Howard, of course, in the birthday party, and of course Blixer for a long time. But before the Bad Seeds were formed, it's kind of almost like not a tryout, maybe a tryout, but he was asked by the German band Die Haut to perform a few songs on their album Burning the Ice. Now, these guys are an instrumental band and, of course, featured Thomas Widler, who would go on to join the Bad Seeds as their drummer. That's them on the back. There's Thomas there. Stowaway, Truck Love, and Pleasure is the Boss, I think, are the three that Nick Cave features on. And this, man, if you want to hear Nick Cave back when he had a fire in the belly, check this out. It's kind of still got that vocal style and aggression of the birthday party, and Still got that hairstyle. Great photo. And there's Haut there. Now this was obviously a reissue, and I cannot find the label because things are very small these days to old eyes. So that was a great start for the Cave stuff. But then, for his debut builders, Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds was the amazing From Her to Eternity. What an amazing debut record. Fantastic stuff. This, opens with the Leonard Cohen, How You Going, Brian? Song Avalanche, which, I don't know, just about betters Big Lenny. It's a pretty good version. And yeah, From Her to Eternity, which, he still regularly plays live. And the band, kind of a super group, of course, Mick Harvey and aforementioned Blixa Bargeld, Hugo Race, great Australian artists who, up until this point, I think, was in the Reckory, and maybe a bit after that, still releasing great solo records. Of course, the great Barry Adamson from Magazine, and has done a ton of great solo albums as well. And in the middle, Anita Lane, who was Nick Cave's girlfriend at the time, but she also gets a credit because she helped a lot with the lyrics on this, which, a lot of people think that Nick Cave, it was just his own vision lyrics, but yeah, for a little while, got a bit of help from Anita. And this one, recorded September, October 83, and interestingly engineered by Flood, who you would know made the ridiculous decision to unleash the horrible music of U2 onto the world. So here's some great inner stuff here. It's on Mute Records. Now you're probably going, isn't that record behind him? And yes, it is. Because these are the Mute ones, and the ones behind me, I bought those. They reissued all of Nick Cave's back catalogue, up until about Nocturama, I think. And Mick Harvey was heavily involved with the production and remastering of those, and yeah, they sound really good. Like originals, obviously, pretty good. This is maybe not an original, but close to. But yeah, when you're the super fan, as you know, all of you weird people out there in the VC, your person or your artist or your band, you're gonna have double ups. You gotta know what the remaster sounds like. You gotta know, just to hear that smidgen more bass or a little bit more treble, or it's just spread a little bit more. Thank God there's no mono versions of Nick Cave, or I'd have a whole other set of records.
Walking barefoot across the boards, all through this lonesome
Right, let's get back into the actual records. This, for me, probably, this is a stunner. The Firstborn Is Dead, the second album. Weirdly, I don't think it's very loved by Nick Cave. I seem to remember at a Nick Cave show someone shouting out to play, where are we? Oh, it's just escaped me at the moment. What's the, not Tupelo. We're going to have to look, or otherwise I'm going to go spare. Please say on the inside. The Black Crow King. How could I forget that? And yeah, his response is, no, we can't do that. And the person in the crowd said, why? And he said, because it's not a very good song. But sometimes artists aren't the best judge of their own work. Anyway, this, as I said before, yes, great record. Barry Adamson, Mick Harvey, Blixa Bargeld, slimmed down to a smaller band at this point, but you wouldn't know it from, the sound of this record. And again, where are we? Recorded December 84, Hansa Studios, which in West Berlin, which of course is where Bowie recorded the famous Berlin trilogy of records. Again, produced and engineered by Flood. And so, for me, highlights of this are like songs like Tupelo, Train, Suffering, and Knocking on Joe's a Ripper, Blind Lemon, Jefferson, and the Johnny Cash cover, Wanted Man's great. Idea behind this record was to make a record, not a blues record, but a record informed by the blues, because by that point Nick Cave was fascinated with that mythic Southern America, which we'll go into later on when he starts to go full Southern Gothic, I suppose. And the storm is a-rolling, the storm is a-rolling, and the storm is a-rolling, rolling on down me. Yeah, I'm still rolling after everybody's gone. I'm still rolling after everybody's gone. Yeah, I'm still rolling and I'm left on my own. The blackbirds are all gone. Everyone's rolling on. I am the Black Crow King, keeper of the trodden corn. I am the king. Won't say next, a very interesting record. Third record, Kicking Against the Pricks. Now, sometimes it spells the death of an artist as far as ideas going when they release a record which is just covers. But in this case, this is like a complete success. By this stage, he's now added Thomas Widler to the band. You can see him there, still with Barry Adamson, Mick Harvey, and Blixa. The covers here: Muddy Water, I'm Gonna Kill That Woman, Sleepin' Analia, which, Tom Jones, who would have thought, especially back then. Long Black Veil, Hey Joe, great cover of The Singer. All Tomorrow's Parties, by the time we get to Phoenix, the Hammer Song, Something's Got a Hold of My Heart, Jesus Met the Woman at the Well, and The Carnival Is Over, which is by the Seekers, believe it or not, and it's a fantastic version, completely reinterpreted by the Bad Seeds in their own amazing dramatic style. This one was produced by Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. Mick Harvey really starting to put his stamp on these, string arrangements by him. This one, recorded in Richmond at Richmond Recorders, which I like this, Time and Money Wasted at Richmond Recorders. Mixes were engineered at Hansa Studios. Yeah. So again, back in Melbourne to do the guts of the recording, and mixing back in Berlin. But a brilliant record, kicking against the pricks.
As I walk these narrow streets, where a million passing feet trod before me, with my guitar in my hand, suddenly I realize nobody knows me. Where yesterday the multitude screamed and cried my name out for a song, today the streets are empty and the crowds have all gone home.
Then a double EP, which has over the years probably become my favourite Nick Cave record. Your Funeral, My Trial. Closed, open, closed, open. So obviously got the great song Your Funeral, My Trial. Cool. Inside there. Don't know if I showed the inside of the other record, but it's too late now. Groovy, look at this upside down. Inners there. It's pretty saucy stuff. So yeah, you've got on this one, Jack's Shadow, Hard On For Love, She Fell Away, Long Time Man, which I think is the Tim Harden song. Great version of that. This one's all recorded at Hansa Studios again. Just brilliant. So I think I might have pulled out the second record first, but that doesn't matter, kids. Hopefully you'll stay with me. And then this side, nice little Jesus photo there. Sad Waters, The Carney, Your Funeral, My Trial, and Stranger Than Kindness, which still does that. By this point, I think we've still got pretty much the same band of Thomas, Barry Adamson, Blixer, Mick Harvey, and Nick Cave. Just looking for if there's any extra names I missed. No, but this is probably my favourite Nick Cave record of the 80s.
Stranger than kindness, bottled light from hotel, spilling everything, and from the volcano, so there's your sin.
And then Tend to Pray. Amazing record as well. By now we've got Kid Congo Powers in the band. Roland Wolf, who played piano, sadly died, I believe, not long after this. I think it was an accident. But this has obviously got the Mercy Seat, Deanna, which are probably the two best known songs off this album. This is 1988. I Love New Morning, and the Watching Alice is a great creepy song as well. So here's the inside there. I think we're all been on mute the whole time, labelled with these records. And this is around the time where Nick Cave is bringing together in his lyrics his fascination with the American South, and it kind of culminates in the Mercy Seat. Time he was writing the book And the Ass Saw the Angel, which I will maybe do an insert here because I forgot to get it out. As promised, the insert of And the Ass Saw the Angel, the book Nick Cave was writing for quite a number of years leading up to around the time of when the album Tender Prey came out. I really liked it, but it's very dense, and I found out later that Nick Cave had several dictionaries on the go when he's writing it because he thought it was particularly humorous to contain a book with lots of words that a lot of people don't know, which were, I guess, archaic words and things like that. But you know, if you can read a sentence, you can get the gist of what he means anyway. So I'll just wrap this up, and that's going to be the 80s Nick Cave. Obviously, there's a lot more singles than this. This is the 7-inch of the Mercy Seat, back with New Day. And there we go. And just a couple of other things. Some CDs. So, Die Haut CD. Reason I got this is it also came with a DVD of Die Haut performing live. Unfortunately, no Nick Cave on that, but still pretty cool. And of course, yeah, he's on the 3 songs on the album. And then these reissues from a number of years ago, which are really good, done by Mick Harvey again. And they come with a DVD which has clips of the songs, plus there's also a documentary with everyone who was involved bar Nick Cave talking about this record, as well as famous fans of the record as well. And the same deal with Firstborn Is Dead, Kicking Against the Pricks, Your Funeral, My Trial, and Tender Prey. Alright, that'll do, because these are long. Thanks if you've lasted that long, and we'll see you in the suit next time.